Number 1. He turned the volume down so his wife wouldn't wake. In the next room, a child breathed softly. In this one, the glow of a laptop turned midnight into noon. The voice in his headphones sounded 13. He told her she was special. He always started there. By day, he sutured torn edges back together. By night, he learned which words could pull a teenager apart without leaving a mark. People trusted his hands. Online, they only saw a friendly profile picture and a promise. I understand you. To colleagues, he was the product of years of training and a recent surgical fellowship. Photos on a desk, the practiced calm of someone used to being obeyed. A father, a husband. Authority looks like safety until it doesn't. According to court documents, he sifted through chats and profiles for girls around 13 to 15, an age where affection feels like air and doubt can be remade as destiny. Prosecutors said he contacted more than 40. He preferred the in-between hours, after homework, before sleep, when doors are closed and houses quiet. He arrived where adults weren't. He arrived when adults slept. The pattern was precise. First, he became the answer. Reflected their music, mirrored their phrases, stayed awake when nobody else did.
You're different. With me, you're safe.
Then he edited their world.
Your parents don't get it. Your friends don't see you.
He didn't need to build a cell. He convinced them the outside wasn't worth going back to. From there, want turned into proof. A compliment became a test. A test became a request. A request became,
show me you trust me.
Each step near enough to the last that it felt like talking. The phone made an altar of a nightstand. The 3 typing dots became a hand on the back of a head, pushing down. Her phone lit the sheets blue. He lit the dot to pulse, stop, pulse, until panic did the work. When the demand came, it didn't read like a crime. It read like a habit she had been taught to obey. Not every message was a demand. Some were lullabies in a key nobody recognizes until it's too late.
How was school? You're so strong. I'm here when they aren't.
A teenager starved of softness will drink poison, if that's how it's poured. He also taught secrecy.
We should keep this between us. They wouldn't understand.
Secrecy is not one door you close. It's a door you agree never to open, even when smoke gathers on your side. The record shows domestic care alongside predation. On one night, the court heard, he lowered his laptop volume during a live call so his family would sleep through it. Picture that room. The faint blue of the taskbar. The clock that has no name. A father turning a dial to keep 2 lives from hearing each other. He didn't need to shout. He weaponized silence. He would stop mid-sentence and let the dots do the threatening. You can teach a child to police herself with the right rhythm. You can teach her to fear the pause more than the sentence that follows. Bedrooms that used to be safe turn into sets. Fairy lights and posters became scenery. The familiar creak of a house at night turned into a metronome of dread. Girls told the court they felt their throats close when the screen lit up. It was like his hands were there, without being in the room. The mask cracked, not in an operating theater, but in a chat window. An undercover officer in the United Kingdom entered the script and mirrored him. The cadence, the compliments, the tests. When the request arrived, it had the dullness of routine. Investigators recorded it. Habit captured. Arrest is a quiet word compared to what came before. No soundtrack, no blue light on a ceiling, doors, paper, rooms where the furniture isn't soft. Then court, rows, whispers, names. Statements became evidence. Evidence outlined a life led between sterile brightness and unlit corners of apps. In August 2025, a judge called him narcissistic and predatory. Not impulsive, deliberate, and imposed a maximum of 10 years and 4 months, with 7 years before parole. A father lowering a volume knob so his wife and child would keep sleeping while he whispered to a stranger's daughter. Even the reference to your own family didn't wake you, the court said. Justice looks heavy in print. It weighs differently carried by a child. A record can say maximum sentence. A nervous system remembers the first night a phone's buzz felt like a hand. It remembers tests. It remembers learning that love speaks in proofs. Some wounds hide from scanners. Some injuries sit where cameras do not. This is why his violence traveled so well. It required no proximity. It needed only signal. If you're looking for a single monstrous moment, the story denies you. The horror is incremental. It lives in duration. It lives in again. It lives in the patience of a predator who learned to sound like a rescue. People will ask how to stop this. They'll point at platforms, policies, training. They'll be right, but it still won't be enough. The danger begins earlier. At the first exception we make because someone is kind. The first secret we keep because someone says others won't understand. The first time a child learns that "prove it" is a synonym for love. The titles fell off quickly. Surgeon, colleague, mentor. The house learns slower. The closet still knows the weight of a coat. The carpet still knows the chair. The laptop is closed, but the room remembers the color of its light. Somewhere, a parent will vow to check phones. Somewhere, a teen will vow to erase history. Schools will hold assemblies with slides that sand down the edges. We do what humans do after harm. Talk loudly around the quiet part and hope volume can disinfect it. There is a smaller warning, sharper than any policy. It sounds like 3 dots appearing and disappearing until a child holds her breath. It looks like a phone face down that still lights the room. It feels like a bedroom losing its shape. He turned the volume down so nobody would wake. The room learned to keep that secret. The glow is gone now, but the carpet still remembers the chair. Number 2. The chat disappears. The offer doesn't.
Send one more,
He types.
and I'll knock off the price.
She's 14. The store is his Snapchat. He chooses a name that sounds like nothing and a face that feels ordinary. The shelves are things he shouldn't have. Vapes, bottles, and attention he treats like currency. A message you can't hold. A promise you can't print. 24 hours and the words will be gone. The way water dries on a counter. The debt will not. He doesn't threaten. He bargains.
It's cheaper if you say yes.
He calls coercion a discount. Like shame is a coupon and compliance makes it cost less. The blue light on her pillow is polite about it. It arrives softly, late, and often. 3 dots appear, stop, appear again. An artificial tide she learns to breathe with.
Prove you trust me. Prove you're different. Prove you won't tell.
According to Hays County deputies, the case began with a summer report of a minor receiving alcohol and a vape in exchange for sexual favors. Investigators say a Snapchat handle, Acru556, using the display name Adrian, was used to solicit explicit images and sex from minors, allegedly offering discounts on contraband as leverage. A suspect, Patrick Zepeda, was arrested on a first-degree trafficking charge and released on a $75,000 bond. Officials say a related Austin Police Department case is ongoing. All allegations remain under investigation. Bedrooms look the same at this hour. Suburbs, farm roads, 4th floor walk-ups, all learning the same glow. The nightstand becomes a counter. The room forgets itself and turns into a kiosk. He says the proof won't linger. He says the message vanishes. He says no one will know. That's the point, she thinks. And that's the trap. Disappearing ink isn't mercy when the hand that writes with it never leaves. He studies her inventory before she does. Which corner of the bed has the strongest signal? Where the floorboards creak outside her door? How quickly the typing dots can turn panic into cooperation? He asks a question that sounds like care and functions like a map.
Rough day? Are you so mad at your mom? Do you sneak out?
People think predators improvise. The good ones rehearse. There isn't just one chat. Deputies allege there were several, each a pop-up market with the same sign above the door. No parents, no proof, no problem. They say he used Snapchat to request sexual contact and nude images and to mark down the price if she complied. The word discounts shows in paperwork like a bruise. Faint in one light, undeniable in another. He rotates the ass through a carousel of niceness.
You're different. You're safe with me. I can help.
He sells secrecy as a service that makes consequences optional. Sometimes she hesitates. Sometimes the dots stop. He returns with different math.
You don't have to do everything. Just enough.
He turns no into not yet, and not yet into a schedule. Under the glow, the room's old safety shrinks. The posters go dull. The mirror goes flat. The carpet learns the shape of a foot that keeps getting out of bed the same reason again and again. When people say trafficking, they picture vans and alleyways. They forget how easy it is to move a body without moving it. To pull someone across a line with nothing but signal, timing, and a promise that the proof disappears. He doesn't need threats when he can sell privacy. He doesn't need violence when he can rent secrecy by the day. If she sends, the price falls. If she meets, it falls further. It reads like saving. It feels like spending. The cost arrives late and in a different currency. He picks a display name that sounds close, like a friend of a friend. A handle that looks like a door number you missed the first time you pass it. She learns to bring exact change. He learns which hours to ask. Predators don't have to be smarter than parents. They only have to be faster than sleep. He's careful with language. He never types a threat he can imply with pause. He never says blackmail when he can say promise. He never says prove you're loyal until he's already taught her to mistake obedience for love. The app helps. The app hands him vanishing ink and calls it a feature. The app calls it privacy. He calls it inventory control. Disappearing chat is a costume. Servers keep logs, devices keep crumbs, accounts leave a shape. The warrant doesn't chase messages. It chases paths. IP pings, contact graphs, recovery emails, the little timestamps that never learn to lie. The handle ties to a phone. The phone ties to a person. The person ties to a charge that doesn't vanish in 24 hours. According to deputies, a second report echoes the first. Different bedroom, same glow. Different girl, same ledger. The pattern repeats because the pattern works. He doesn't need to be original, only available. He doesn't need to be charming, only there. The hook isn't his personality. The hook is his presence when nobody else is awake. You can tell when a room is forgetting itself. The posters go gray. The mirror stops being a witness and becomes a surface. She hides the phone face down, and it still lights the sheets. She switches it to silent, and the vibration still finds the bone. She thinks, if I finish the proof, the price will stop. He thinks,
if I keep the price moving, the proof will never end.
Investigators allege girls who didn't comply still bought from him. Vapes, alcohol. Evidence, they say, that the counter stayed open even when the discount failed. But the ledger kept trying to balance somewhere else. The bargain isn't just about price. It's about silence. If she says yes, she owes him quiet. If she says no, she owes him nothing. And she still walks away heavy. That's why the dots return. That's why the glow lingers after the phone goes black. Arrest days aren't cinematic. There is paperwork and a front door that looks like any other. Later, a release reads like a straight line. Report, investigation, digital evidence, warrant, custody, bond. The number attached to the bond sits on the page like an answer that doesn't understand the question. The chat windows are closed now, but they left fingerprints where buttons used to be. The lens is dark, but the pixels remember. He will say he offered choices.
You can stop any time.
He will say he only sold what everyone sells.
It's just attention.
He will say the messages were mutual. He will say the discount was kindness. Anyone can rename what they did after the fact. Anyone can rewrite, up to the moment the words change from chat to charge. In the record, alleged holds the space where proof will go. In the courtroom, innocent until proven guilty weighs more than any word we say here. The girls in the case are never named in the release. They are ages and pronouns and counts. They are breath patterns of someone learning the dots can mean stop as often as go. They are sentences spoken in rooms that were supposed to be safe. I thought it would disappear. I thought it was nothing. I thought it was my fault. They are the reason a detective learns to say according to like a tourniquet. Tight enough to hold, gentle enough not to bruise the word it wraps. He didn't build a trap. He marketed one. He branded it with disappearing ink. He set it in blue light. He scheduled it for hours when the house is honest and the clock is not. He promised it would cost less each time, and forgot to mention the part where nothing gets cheaper when you're paying with pieces of yourself. Parents will sit at a kitchen table and promise to check phones. Teens will learn new routes from charger to bed, from lie to truth. Schools will hold assemblies. Slides will glow with arrows and rules. The app will update a safety page that reads clean as bone. None of it alters the way a room can forget itself when the dots appear and vanish and appear again. When cheaper sounds like safer. When a discount looks like a door. There will be hearings with days and calendars and pages of exhibits. There will be phrases that keep the system upright. Probable cause, elements of the offense, standard of proof. There will be a verdict someday. One word that replaces alleged in the official voice. That's one ending. It belongs to ledgers and dockets and dates. Another ending is smaller and doesn't get written down. A teenager turns her phone over and lets it light the sheets one last time. The glow is softer now. It no longer pretends to be a secret. She has learned to name the rhythm, how the dots arrive, how the breath changes, how compliance can be taught with a sale. She thinks about telling. She thinks about the price. It is the last trick the bargain plays. That silence can still feel like thrift. If you're looking for a single monstrous moment, the story denies you. The horror is incremental. It lives in duration. It lives in again. It lives in the patience of a person who learned to sound like rescue. It lives in the infrastructure that lets a message vanish and keeps the metadata. It lives in the distance between a screen that looks empty and a record that isn't. The counter is a nightstand. The register is a phone. The sign says open late. The message disappears. The ledger doesn't. Number 3. An email offers a modeling job and a non-disclosure agreement. Travel is arranged. A hotel is booked. She arrives. The door closes. He says it's a quick shoot. He says it's private. He says it won't be online. He says no one she knows will ever see it. The contract is put in front of her. He calls it standard. He points where to sign. According to federal prosecutors, this is how the operation worked. Fake modeling ads and direct messages brought in new recruits. The brand was Girls Do Porn. The promise was privacy. The result was videos that did not go away. There is no studio. There is a hotel room. A light is set up, a camera set up. Her phone is taken or placed out of reach. If she hesitates, pressure starts. The pressure is practical. A flight that suddenly can't be changed. A room that can't be refunded. Talk of legal fees if she backs out. Talk of wasting people's time. The exit is harder to reach. Equipment sits in the doorway. The message is clear. Finish or you owe. She is told the video is for private buyers only. She is told it won't be posted online. She is told it won't show up where she lives. After filming, clips appear on the company website. Previews appear on large free sites. Traffic flows back to the business. All those assurances were false. What happens next is predictable. Faces and names are copied to web pages that track and expose people. Links spread on forums and social feeds. Search results attached to real names and stay there. Removal is slow, partial, or ignored. The video is no longer a file in a room. It is a product that the internet keeps duplicating. The owner was Michael James Pratt. He ran Girls Do Porn and Girls Do Toys. He left the country when investigations began, was arrested overseas, returned to the United States, and pleaded guilty to sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and to conspiracy. A federal judge in San Diego sentenced him to 27 years in prison. In court, survivors described what the rooms were like, what the pressure sounded like, and what life felt like after the videos were posted. They explained how search results followed them into job interviews, classrooms, and families. The judge called Pratt the leader and organizer. She said the scope and damage were unlike anything she had seen. She chose a sentence that matched that assessment. People ask how the scheme reached so many. The steps were simple and repeatable. 1. A web ad or DM says modeling. 2. A call or message from a reference says it's fine. 3. A flight is booked. 4. A hotel room is used as a set. 5. A contract is rushed. 6. Pressure replaces choice. 7. Filming ends. 8. Uploads begin. 9. Clips are pushed to free sites to pull in more views. That loop did the work. It did not need threats that sounded dramatic. It used logistics, false promises, and the reach of large platforms. It used the fact that a video uploaded to one place will be copied to others. It used the fact that search engines remember. There was also a civil case before the criminal sentence. Survivors won. A judgment recorded what they had said all along. The recruiting was fraudulent, the coercion was real, and the damage did not stop when the site went dark. The criminal case took longer. Co-conspirators were sentenced along the way. The final sentence landed on the person the court identified as the mastermind. Every part of the operation relied on the internet. Recruitment happened online, contracts were set online, travel was coordinated online, distribution was online. The harm was made permanent by duplication, by mirrors, by reposts, by caches. Even when a video was removed in one place, it stayed alive in others. There is nothing complicated about the tactics inside the room. They are direct. Make it seem normal. Rush the paperwork. Limit options. Introduce a cost to leaving. There is nothing complicated about the tactics outside the room either. Upload. Promote. Let the network carry the rest. If you're looking for one shocking moment to explain this case, there isn't one. The horror is in the routine. It's in how ordinary each step sounds when you say it out loud. It is in how fast a false promise can be turned into a product that strangers can share. It is in how difficult it is to get that product back once it spreads. The law uses clear words: force, fraud, coercion. Those words fit what survivors described. Fraud in the approach, coercion in the room, pressure in the logistics, force in the way a person's name and face were turned into inventory and left online. A courtroom can do a few things well. It can decide guilt. It can assign time. It can say, in public, that the promises were lies and the behavior was criminal. It cannot teach an algorithm to forget a name. It cannot make every mirror drop the copy at once. That is the limit survivors live with, even after a conviction and a sentence. So the story ends in two places. In one place, a federal courtroom. A sentence is read. A door closes behind the person who ran the scheme. In the other place, the internet. Old links still circulate. New reposts still appear. Search results still show up when someone types a name. What do you do with that? Call fraud what it is when it hides behind modeling. Call coercion what it is when a contract is used as a threat. Stop calling a person's image content. Make platforms remove and stop recommending the copies. Listen when survivors say the promises were false and that the harm is ongoing. The facts are simple. A job offer was a lie. A room was used as a set. A video was uploaded. The copies spread. The person responsible is in prison, but the copies are still out there. The door closes. The upload starts. That's how it worked. That's why it stayed.